So in this video, I'm going to talk how to get 6 marks in the Section A DNA of Edexcel's GCSE Drama exam. Being very specific, not sure why. So this 6 mark question, very similar to the 4 mark. If you haven't watched that video, I'd recommend watching that one first because these are very similar. The difference is this is asking for a little bit more information. So to start out with that 4 marker information, it will tell us that it is linked directly to the extract that we are going to be acting in. So you've got to make sure that you know what character the question is asking you to think about and what you personally would do as an actor in that scenario. So for example, it will say a short statement about that character. So it will say, John Tate is trying to keep control, or Phil is proving he is in charge. Okay, so it's basically saying a statement about the character that the question is focused on. So same as the 4 marker, however, this time we have a statement too. Now, the question itself is very similar in that it's asking you to think about your vocal skills and your physical skills. However, they use the phrase, I'll put this in blue, performance skills. And this, like I said, is exactly the same as the other question. It's just by using performance skills, it means they want you to talk about both vocal and physical skills. You can also talk about stage space in this question. So in terms of where your character is stood in relation to other characters, so proxemics, also, you know, the path they might take. They might be stood centre stage because that might prove how that character is trying to be in charge, or that they're afraid of other characters, or whatever it might be. So performance skills, basically, just to help you out, is voice, physical, and space. If you know you're going to forget that in the exam, here's a little tip. If you flick over to the 12 mark question, which is a directing, but the directing the acting question, it actually has these things as bullet points in that question. So that's a little top tip for you there. Now, exactly the same as the 4 marker, you can actually get 4 marks in this question by doing quite short sentences. So the thing that you need to do to get your first mark, exactly the same as the 4 marker, is do a quote or a stage direction. So you show the examiner that you're referencing the extract exactly. And then you need to do a skill. So something like gait or facial expressions, or maybe something like proxemics, we use that word as well. Oh, I've put speech marks on this side and a closed bracket on this side. I'll put that out. Yeah, so basically, it's wanting you to think about more than just the one skill and how those skills blend together. So something like saying, well, it's the same as the 4 marker, saying like, I would have this character I would use this. You know, I would use this vocal skill, I would use this physical skill. To get your next mark, exactly the same as before, we justify. So we're saying we would use that to show. Now the thing that's tricky about this question is this statement, we're trying to prove the statement. However, they kind of want you to not use the same justification every single time. So, for example, if the statement is about leadership, that's one we've seen before, you can't just put to show Phil as a leader, to show John Tate as a leader, like every time. They want you to mix it up a little bit. So to say something like, to show he has a higher status or to show he is independent from the other characters. It is meaning the same thing, but you're giving a kind of more holistic view, so you're including other aspects into what it means to be a leader and things like that as well. So it's exactly the same structure as the 4 marker. However, to get full marks in this one, we are going to want to use 3 examples. And with that as well, I would recommend doing an example, 1 vocal, 1 physical, and 1 stage space. Now, this question in particular, it gives you the option of talking about the same type of skill twice if you want to, but I wouldn't spend the whole question talking about vocal skills, for example, just because you're not showing that you have the full knowledge of what it is that goes into performance skills. So if you're showing this, because one thing the mark schemes do is they split everything up into knowledge and understanding. Like if you're saying the performance skills, you show an understanding, but if you're only talking about one type, you're only showing limited knowledge, especially if you're using the same skill multiple times. So if you're saying about tone in 3 different quotes, that's you not showing rounded knowledge, if that makes sense. So if you can, try to do 1 vocal, 1 physical, 1 stage space, or if you want to, you do 1 vocal, 1 physical, and then 1 of either vocal or physical. I wouldn't recommend doing all 3 on the same skill. So that's it for the 6 marker. Again, remember that this is a lower mark question compared to some of the others. So if you wanted to start at the back of the paper with the bigger ones and work your way towards this one, that's absolutely fine. What I've seen a few people do is do the 4 marker to kind of get the brain working, then go to the 14 to the 12 or vice versa. Also as well, people start with section B first to get that done and out of the way, then move to the 4 marker. It's completely up to you is what I'm saying. So I hope this has helped and best of luck revising.